This is part 3 from the Architectural Accents installation of a mantle that we make in cast stone. And you're going to see, if you've watched part 1 and 2, and if you haven't, you really should, you're going to see me mix up another batch of mortar. We've already taken this mantle down that was dry mounted. I'm going to spray underneath. All the shims that get this leg level and plumb are there, and I'm going to put this fairly dry mix of mortar, which is again the same thing, 6 parts sand to 1 part Portland cement. I'm going to put it really between and around those shims and build it up so that I can sandwich it down when the leg arrives. You can see me popping the shims in now. And what's going to happen basically is, before we do that, we've sprayed that base underneath to get a nice bite so that this little mix of mortar bites. And before we put the leg up, because we're going against wood and mortar doesn't agree with wood, we're putting some really heavy duty construction adhesive. And this will be enough to tack the leg down. By no means are we relying on it, we're just putting it there to get a good grip. As you can see, we're now setting that leg down. We've damped the underside of the leg, and that dowel is in, and it's going to fit in the hole rather smoothly. And then we're going to level, and we're going to adjust to make sure that that outline that we put on the hearth is filled with the leg and that there's no deviation. We've plumbed the sides, leveled the top, and then screwed the bracket back into the studs. And of course we're going to do exactly the same thing with the other side. I'm just packing that mortar in. I like to leave about 1/2 inch to 1 inch all the way around, and you can see me pushing that mortar back to the center of the leg, because as you'll see later, I'm going to come back with a completely different solution to that joint, because this mortar is a grey brown mortar, just like any other Portland cement mortar would be. Sponging off is very important. You must always sponge off your joints. You don't want to leave that mortar on the joint for any length of time. It will stain the joint. So a nice damp sponge, constantly rinsed out in clean water, is just the job for this sort of project. Now again, you'll see me mixing up another slurry. This is going to be same mixture, same sand, same Portland cement, same little amount of water. And this time, perhaps a little bit more water. I normally put 1.5 cups if I'm going to do a leg like this, because this is a slurry that I'm putting on, because I'm going to end up basically putting the slips inside these legs. Now these are, as we say in England, slips. You could say inserts. This is the facing that is installed between the leg and the firebox. It doesn't have to be stone. Of course, with wooden mantles, it's often marble. With marble mantles, it could be slate. It could be marble. Anything goes. It could be tile for that matter. And again, I'm doing the same thing. I'm getting adhesion to it, setting it, and then we've already done the header, as you can see, and we're putting the top of the mantle over that header and sitting it down on the legs that have been prepared exactly the same way. We put the level on, it's level. So now we have to go back underneath, lift it, because we know it fits, and cut that header. We take it outside, we cut the header, I'm applying more glue to the backing just to keep that header in place. And I'm going to take that header, which is not going to go anywhere because of course the apron, when it goes on, the actual top of the fireplace is going to be in front of it, so it's going to actually provide the support. We're corking that header in with a cork grout, and we're doing it because that joint is about 1/8 to 3/16. It's a very thin joint inside, whereas with the mantle itself we like to use 1/4 to 1/2 inch, depending on what sort of mantle. And we're going to complete this in our next final video.